Hi, welcome. Hi, Sandra. We're going to let everyone join in here. Hi, Miss Tess. So before everyone gets in here, I'm going to give it a few minutes because I know we've got people joining us from our email list. I know we've got people joining us from our study group. What you see here on the screen before we start going over our TEAS practice test questions for the night, in case you missed it, this is what we went over last week. This is the T7 chemistry study list for those 8 scored chemistry questions. So I'm going to leave these up here. Tonight we're going to have something similar, but we're going to have it for the biology questions. So make sure to grab your screenshot and then we're going to roll right into the questions in about a minute. Hi, Fadi. Nice to see you again. Hi, Satari. Christine says I take my TEAS tomorrow. Okay, Christine, make sure you don't stay up on TikTok all night. What's your minimum required score, Christine? Thank you for the like and the follow, Assumption. Hi, Lily. Welcome. We're doing some T7 practice test questions. This is a 1-hour long live. We're going to be going over science questions, math, reading, and English. Right now, I've just got a cheat sheet for what you need to know for the T7 chemistry questions. And then we're going to roll right on into it. I failed by 3 points, but I will pass on my next try. Absolutely. I think the second time is always easier because you're not so stressed by what is the test like, and you really get a good feel for it. Hi, Angela. Hi, Darrell. Joss says taking mine next month. Hi, Bella. Hi, Steffi. All right, guys, so we're going to get started here in just a few moments. For those of you joining us, we're going to be going over TEAS 7 practice test questions for 1 hour. We're going to do reading, math, science, and English. Up on the screen are the things you need to study for those 8 scored chemistry questions that you're going to find on your TEAS exam. This is an inclusive list of everything you need to study and know for the chemistry questions on your TEAS. So make sure you take a screenshot because we're going to roll right on into the first question. Hi, Carla. Thanks for the follow. Thanks, Taffy, for the like. Hi, Aaliyah. Thanks for the follow. Okay, guys, last chance. Take your screenshots. Again, later in this live, I'm going to have something similar for you to screenshot, but it will be for the biology questions, okay? Hi, Diamond. All right. First TEAS question of the night. We are going to start off with a reading question. Let me get my papers organized. Boom. I know, let me fix it. All right, we're going to start off with a reading question tonight, and then we're going to roll right into math. So let me know down in the comments what your answer is for this question. Hi, Drinks. Good vibes. Thank you for the like. Okay, I'm seeing lots of B's, lots of B's. Okay, I'm trying to center this guy, so bear with me here. Perfect. Okay, I think I got it. Hi, Zena says B. I see some C's. Fadi says B. B's, C's, B's, C's. See some A's. B or C. Okay. Hi, Carla. Hi, Sid. Hi, D. Hi, Gabrielle. We're going over some ATI T7 practice test questions. Somebody says, okay, girlie, what's the answer? Okay, I love your vibe. Okay, I love it. Okay, So the correct answer is B. What is essential for an effective summary? I reviewed this today, excited to see a question about it. Yeah, so for your TEAS exam, you can absolutely expect questions on summaries, main idea, topic sentences, topic, which a topic and a topic sentence is not at all the same thing. So yes. So the reason why it's objective is we have to remember what a summary is. So a summary is basically a very brief reinstatement of the main idea or the key points of a text or a passage. But what's important is that it is written in your own words. And the purpose of a summary is to summarize and basically like convey the essence of what was written without putting in like your opinion or what you thought about it or any fluffy, unnecessary details that was not necessarily not stated in the text. So I know that a lot of people put down C, sequential. So I can understand why you would say sequential. So let's talk about why C, sequential, is not correct. So sequential meaning in the order, right? So some summaries might follow the order of ideas in the text. So like the author started with this, and then they said this, and then they said that. But that's not necessary. It's nice. It's a nice to have, but it is not necessary. And so if you guys have been joining me these last few weeks for our T7 live question reviews, you should know my slogan. I have two slogans here. It's one, get clear on what the question is asking you. That is number one rule. Second rule is you want to always pick the best answer. When you take your TEAS exam, there will always be, hi Carol, hi Dal, hi Cinnamon. There will always be two answer choices that look really good, and you always want to pick the best one. So while it is nice for things to be sequential when it's presented in a summary, it's not necessary. The key word here is essential. So a summary, it has to be objective. Okay. Hi guys, welcome. We're doing some TEAS 7 practice test questions. We just did a reading question. We're going to move on into math. And later in this review, we're going to go over what you need to study and know for the biology questions, okay? All right, guys, solve for x. You guys do math fast. I already see some answers down in the comments. D. I see A's. Kit Kat says D. Hi, Emma. Thanks for joining us. We're doing some ATI TEAS math practice questions. Math is my favorite subject. I like math too. I like that math is universal. Taffy says D. Fadi says D. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining us. Jane Doe says D. Polly Whitey says D. Okay, guys, so you are all rock stars. The answer is, in fact, D. D is the correct answer. Now, you guys seem pretty confident down in the comments, but for anybody who is watching and is not dropping comments, would you like me to work this out? No shame in your game. I'm happy to work it out for anybody that would like me to. Explain, please, all caps. Okay, there's all those really quiet people. All right, guys, so this is essentially a PEMDAS problem, right? And I know that you guys know what PEMDAS is, but one thing, hi Mountain, nice to see you. One thing that we talked about last time that I know that we all know that PEMDAS stands for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponents. The M stands for multiplication. The D stands for division, addition, subtraction. But I want you guys to think of me in the future, and instead of Dear Aunt Sally, I want you guys to remember this by please excuse my dope-ass swag. I just feel like when you're taking the TEAS exam and you see a PEMDAS problem and you say to yourself, please excuse my dope-ass swag, it's going to bring a little smile to your face, and you're going to remember all of the things we talked about. So the order of operations means that this is the order in which we need to complete the operation. So the first thing we need to do is P, parentheses. So we need to solve 9 divided by 3 first because it is in a parentheses. So when we do 9 divided by 3, we get 3. That leaves us with 3x equals 8 squared minus 1, okay? Because what we need to do is we need to be simplifying the equation because our goal here is to get x by itself. So the next thing that we can look at is we've dealt with our parentheses. Now we've got E for exponents. So 8 squared, really, let me just put this here for some of those who need a refresher. 8 squared basically just means 8 times 8. And if it said 8 to the 3rd power, that would just mean 8 times 8 times 8. Okay? So 8 times 8, 8 squared, is 64. Okay? So that means we've got 3x equals 64 minus 1. Yes, the TEAS does give you a calculator, but you do not get a scientific calculator, which is why I went over what 8 squared is, because you will not get one of those fancy calculators that allows you to put in the exponents. All right, so now we want to simplify. So we're going to do 3x minus 64 minus 1. That leaves us with 63. Okay, and then in order to get x by itself, we need to divide because 3x implies that this is 3 multiplied by x. So you want to divide to cancel it out. So when you divide 63 by 3 and you divide 3x by 3 on both sides, you will be left with x equals 21. Yes, the calculator will be provided to you on the screen. You are not allowed to bring your own calculator. You can't use your phone calculator, anything like that. You have to use their calculator. Why are we dividing? Okay, so when you have 3x, this implies that this is multiplication. So the way that we cancel out multiplication is we divide. So we divide both sides by 3, which allows us to have x by itself. And then we divide this by 3 here, because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. And that's how we get to 21. You're welcome, Meg. All right, guys, so if you're just joining us, we are doing some TEAS 7 math. You're welcome. So before we go into our next question, somebody asked, where am I getting the questions from? So the questions come from our TEAS 7 online course that's available at smartadditionacademy.com. And I'm not gonna gatekeep, guys. I'm gonna put you guys on. This is the best deal in TEAS 7 test prep. It includes 8 practice tests, 100 videos, interactive lessons. It comes with the mobile study app, flashcards, and more. It is less than $30 a month, and you can get 20% off by using code 20OFF at checkout. I think the first month will be like $24. So how many questions are on the test? 170. What is the E in PEMDAS? The E is for exponents. Okay, now let's go to our next question, which is an English question. And for those of you who joined us a little late, we're doing some T7 practice test questions. A little bit later on, we're going to be going over exactly what you need to study, exact topics, what you need to study, words you need to know for the 8 scored biology questions. And then we did already go over what you need to study for chemistry, but at the end of the session, I will put it back on the screen and you will be able to take a screenshot. Christine says C. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for the like. Hi, Julia. Thanks for the follow. Okay, so we've got a TEAS 7 English practice test question. And I don't know if you guys are part of our Facebook study group, but one of the things that we see every single day is I took my test, OMG, English and reading was so hard. It totally brought down my score, just some variation of that. So many students do not take English and reading as seriously as they should. That's because the English section, while it does test you on concepts that you're familiar with, it's stuff that you probably haven't seen in a while. And when that time is ticking and you realize how important that test is and how much money you've spent to take it and how much is riding on it, it seems like your mind can go blank. So definitely pay attention to the English questions in the English section, because it is a good way. It'd be such a shame for you to study math and science for weeks or months, get good grades in those areas, and have your score brought down by things like compound sentences, clauses, modifiers, the writing process, propositions, conjunctions, things like that. So that's what this TEAS 7 Live is all about. We're refreshing. I'm seeing some mixed answers here in the comments. I'm seeing A's. I'm seeing C's. Morgan says B. Cindy says C. Hey, Starboy. Thanks for joining us. I'm seeing some C's. I'm seeing some C's. Smug Kitten, that is correct. That is a good way to remember it. Okay, guys, so the correct answer is C. Monty injured his ankle, comma, so he cannot run in the race tomorrow. Okay, the TEAS is the ATI TEAS exam. It is a entrance exam that healthcare programs use. It's like the Kaplan or the HESI. Okay, so guys, the correct answer is C, because we need to go over the key word in the sentence, which Smug Kitten already put down in the comments, is a compound sentence. So a compound sentence is a sentence that is made up of 2 or more independent clauses, okay? And the 2 or more independent clauses are then joined by a coordinating conjunction. And examples of a coordinating conjunction are things like, and, but, or in this case, so. So is acting as the coordinating conjunction here. Also, yet, for, or nor. There is an acronym for your conjunctions called fanboys. Conjunctions. I want you guys to think about fanboys. And that's for, and, nor, but, etc. Yet, so. Okay, and so let's talk about why C is correct. So C is correct because these are 2 independent things that can stand on their nose. Okay, so if we say Monty injured his ankle, technically we can end and put a period here, and that makes sense. Monty injured his ankle. That is a sentence. If we did not have the so here, we can have he cannot run in the race tomorrow. We would be clear on what these 2 things we're talking about, even if there was not a coordinating conjunction here. So because we're talking about 1 independent clause, plus we have a coordinating conjunction, and then we have our second independent clause, that makes this a compound sentence. Hi, Diana. Thank you for joining us. Guys, we have 500 people. There are 500 people studying for the TEAS exam right now. Somebody said, why not B? So B is incorrect because this is a simple sentence. Monty injured his ankle and cannot run in the race tomorrow. It's a simple sentence and not a compound sentence because we've got our subject, right, who's Monty. It applies to both parts of the sentence. So we're talking about Monty injured his ankle. Monty cannot run in the race. As opposed to Monty injured his ankle, he cannot. So even though it's not saying Monty, we know that we're talking about him because we're saying he here. Okay? So B is considered a simple sentence. C is considered a compound sentence. Okay, someone said, can you explain why all of them are not correct? So this one, A, is not correct because we're actually using here, there's a comma splice, so this is just bad grammar. The comma doesn't belong in A. B is a simple sentence. Oh Lord, I spelled sentence wrong. Don't come for me, you guys. You guys know what I was trying to say. This is a compound sentence. This is what happens when we are so used to typing and texting. And D is called a complex sentence. All right. Let me see. What are we doing next? Okay, guys, we're moving on up to science. Okay. So we've got a T7 science question. This is a practice question on those A and P topics. And as a reminder, when you take your T7 exam, you're going to have 18 scored A and P questions. And as I put in here, after we review this question, I'm going to quickly go over, for those of you who missed it in our last live, what are the most common diseases that you will need to know for your upcoming TEAS exam. Tiffany says C, 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 D's. Okay, you guys are saying move the paper. Move the paper this way to the left or this way to my right. Okay, I'm seeing lots of D's, lots of C's. Hi, Yetta. To my right. Okay. Is that better, y'all? Okay, you guys are giving me conflicting. Somebody said left, somebody said to the right. We're about to do the Cupid shuffle with this paper here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Seeing some B's, C's, D's. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of everything. So guys, for your A and P questions, I want you guys to also be aware of that you will see questions like this where you typically are going to you're going to be given a problem that's going to describe symptoms, and you're going to have to identify the diseases. Okay, so we're going to talk about, like I said, as soon as we wrap up this question, we're going to talk about what are the most common diseases that you should be somewhat familiar with when you take your TEAS exam. Okay, the correct answer is D. Great job, guys. So guys, as a reminder, the answer is D because SLE is a chronic autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks healthy tissues throughout the body, okay? And some of the most common symptoms that we see with SLE is you're going to get facial and skin rash. Sometimes it can be on the cheeks or it can be on the nose. You're going to have painful joints due to inflammation. You can also experience fever and fatigue, again, because of the inflammation, butterfly rash. Correct. Absolutely. That's right, Megan. You could also experience kidney problems. This is somewhat common, but a very serious complication. And then you can also experience weight loss. Okay, so really quickly, we're going to talk about the diseases that you need to know for your TEAS exam. And when I say that you need to know them, I'm just going to flip this piece of paper upside down, okay? So that you guys will be able to take a screenshot. When I say that you need to know these diseases, it needs to be the symptoms, why the disease occurs or what are the causes of the diseases, and also the system that it impacts. Okay, so know the system, know the symptoms, know how it's transmitted, like how people get the disease. Is it something genetics or is it something that they get through a virus, things like that, and also know the system that it implies. So you want to be familiar with arrhythmias. I'm going to put it in the middle so everybody can see it. Okay, arrhythmias, that's a big one. Diabetes, skin cancer. You're not really going to see questions on cancer, but you can absolutely expect to see a question on skin cancer. Okay, COPD is another one. CKD, chronic kidney disease. Okay, you also need to be familiar with asthma. You need to be familiar with pneumonia. All right, can you guys see that? You guys read my chicken scratch? You need to be familiar with GERD. You need to be familiar with ulcers, the different types of ulcers. What are the differences between the types of ulcers? You need to be familiar with Graves' disease. You do not need, I've been in class all day on TikTok. Good for you. You have made it to the right side of TikTok. You also need to be familiar with HIV/AIDS. Specifically when it comes to HIV/AIDS, you might see a question about what happens to the body when somebody has HIV/AIDS. And so it's going to ask you specifically what happens to the body. What is CKD? I spelled it wrong. It's pneumonia. CKD is chronic kidney disease. And yes, so you can learn about all of these diseases, their symptoms, how it impacts the body from our TEAS 7 online course. We have an online course at smarteditionacademy.com. And you can use code 20OFF at checkout to get 20% off your first month. It'll make the course, I believe, $24 or $25. Okay. And then lastly, you should really be familiar with your UTIs. Those are the common things that you should be familiar with. Just took my NCLEX, ask me anything. So these are the most common diseases that you might see a question on when it comes to the TEAS exam. You really do not need to study anything about mental health. It's really more so physical. Okay. Now let's move on to our reading question. Is there a lot of anatomy? There's 18 scored anatomy questions when you take your TEAS 7 science section. There's 18 anatomy questions, 8 biology, 8 chemistry, and 9 scientific reasoning. Lukey says D. Yeah, Olivia, I've heard that the NCLEX is a whole other ball game. The TEAS is definitely easier. Stephanie, no, it is not. Do they tell you what questions are scored? They do not. You will not know which questions are being scored and which ones are not. You're welcome, Stephanie. Hi guys, welcome. We're doing some TEAS 7 practice test questions. We just wrapped up an A and P question and we are moving on up to the reading question. At the end of this live is wrapping up in about 30 minutes. We're going to be going over what you need to be studying word for word for those 8 scored biology questions. All right, guys, I'm seeing a lot of D's in the comments. Lots of D's. Naja says D. Cindy says D. Kawa, what list are you talking about? Our biology list? We're going to go over it in a few more practice test questions. B, D, D. Hi, BB. Welcome. T says B. Native says D. Zuna says B. How does this have anything to do with nursing? Well, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with nursing. This is testing your reading comprehension skills. And these types of questions are an entrance exam to see how ready you are for your upcoming healthcare program. All right, guys, so for all of you down in the comments who said D, it maximizes the impact. You would be correct. So let's talk about why. I know, good job, Fadi. So let's talk about why D is the correct answer. So can we tune in every day? Well, we do have a T7 study group, and we do have practice test questions in that study group. And then we also have our online course where we also go over practice test questions in there. You can get 20% off our T7 online course by using code 20OFF at checkout. Okay, so let's talk about why the answer is D. So it maximizes the impact. So if you read the passage, you can kind of see that the author is talking about going to this movie. It's so horrendous. All these crazy things are happening. But the irony, after disaster had struck in the movie, the lights turn on, people pick up their popcorn, pick up their cell phones, and then they just move on out with their life and they're smiling. And so that's a little bit ironic. So when he ends the passage by saying, after all, there's nothing more fun than the end of the world as long as it's fictional, it's an ironic statement. So D, it maximizes the impact, is the correct answer because it's just really maximizing the emotional part of this passage, right? So like everyone's relieved because they're like, whew, okay, that's over. Like that's not actually my real life. The lights are on, everyone is cool, is chilling, it's not mayhem out there. So it really maximizes the impact, okay? Offending, distracting, and changing the subject, none of these really apply. Okay, guys. Does the TEAS test in sections or does it jump around? So the TEAS is ordered. You start by taking your reading section, then you move on to math, then you move on to science, and then you end with English. Once you are complete with a section, you are not able to go back to that section. And you're not able to skip forward or anything like that. You have to take it in sequential order. Hi, Sophia. Welcome. I'm more worried about math because that's my least favorite subject. I know math is not fun, but the good news is with math, well, you guys work this out. The good thing with math is that for the T7 is that you really are only refreshing your memory. The math that you go over is really nothing beyond like 10th or 11th grade geometry. And it's really Algebra 1 level. You really don't go into the stuff that you learned in Algebra 2. There's no calculus, there's no physics, there's no high-level trig or anything like that. Is it true that one subject weighs more than the other? So that is true. It's not common. That varies from school to school. I've seen programs that weigh science as like 50% of the grade and the others not so much. That's not the norm. That is definitely very not common, and it really varies from school to school. if your school is deciding to test their scores like that for their admissions process, that will be very clear to you on their admissions page. If they have like a weird way that's not the straightforward, like common way of the TEAS exam being graded, they will make that clear on their admissions page. Okay, Polly, so you said something good and you asked a question previous that I just want to address really quick, and then I want to talk about what you just said. So Polly asked, why can't you go to an old question? So once you leave the section, you can't go back. So if you completed math and then you finished early on science, you cannot go back to math. But if you are in the math section, you can flag an answer and you can go back as long as you're in the section. You can go back to the first question, you can review all of your answers, etc., as long as you are within the section. Once you leave the section, you cannot. And Polly, you said something great. You said, well, it either depends on if it's B or on if it's C, if we're rounding up. So sometimes on the TEAS exam, they will give you very specific instructions about what to do when it comes to rounding. Sometimes it will tell you not to round, but it'll state that, or it'll tell you to round up to the nearest 10th, or it'll tell you to round up to the nearest 100th. But when in a question like this, where it does not tell you, you need to use the normal rules of rounding. So 4 and under, you round down. 5 and over rounds up. Exactly what Beth just said down in the comments. Okay? Yes, if you run out, you will just automatically start the next section. That's correct, Caroline. Oh, Polly, that was a great comment. I'm glad you dropped that. Body says C. Hi, Valley Girl. Welcome. We're just doing some T7 practice test questions. We're about to go over the answer. So the answer here, guys, it's C. It's 17. I love when Fadi says for sure. So the answer is C, because the first thing that you need to do is you need to add all of these together when we are talking about average. That's the key word here, average. So we need to make sure that we get the average. So in order to get the average, for anyone who needs a refresher, you would want to add all of these. So you want to add 21.3 plus 19.8 plus 15.5 plus 13.9 plus 12.4. When you do all of that, you're going to get 82.9. How you get your average after you add all of them together, you want to divide by the number. So we had 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to divide that by 5. And when you divide 82.9 divided by 5, you get 16.58. And then you can round this up, okay? And that's how you get 17. If this said, for example, if this said 16.41, we would be rounding down and the right answer would be B. But that's not what happened. We got 0.58, so we round up. Is it the same as finding the mean Kit Kat? Yes, exactly. Average and mean pretty much mean the same thing. That's correct. 16.50, good question. You would round up. No, we do not have practice sessions live every day. However, we do have a T7 online course, and we go over practice test questions in the course. You can get 20% off by entering 20 off at checkout. And we also have a Facebook study group that you can join when you're a part of the online program. And we go over TEAS practice test questions every day. And what's really cool about our online course is not only do we have 8 practice tests that are timed, and they are intended to simulate what the test experience is like. At the end of the test, you get a diagnostic report that tells you exactly what you need to study. But what's more is we have video explanations for every single question in our database. So any test question you take, if you get it wrong, you can watch a video explaining to you why it is the correct answer and why the other 3 answer choices are not. Okay. Perfect. So again, you can get our online course at smartadditionacademy.com, and you can enter in code 20OFF at checkout to get 20% off. And for those of you just joining, don't forget, before we wrap it up in 20 minutes, we're going to go over exactly what you need to study word for word, keywords you need to know for the biology questions, which are 8 scored questions. And then for those of you who missed it for the chemistry, I'll put the chemistry ones back up. And I know we just did math, but I know since math is everyone's favorite, yes, I'm going to move it on over. It printed weird. Forgive me, y'all. See? Yes, again, we're going to do math because math is everyone's favorite. And there's no such thing as practicing too much math. Hey, Sabrina, nice to see you. Okay, Hernando says D. Kit Kat says D. Oh, guys, the problem's over here in Timbuktu. I don't know why. So it says evaluate the expression when m equals 5 and n equals -3. And the expression is negative m, parentheses, m plus n. Hi, Swiss. Hi, Dominique. And just so that you guys don't get confused, the expression is negative m, parentheses, m plus n, parentheses. Stephanie says D. Jennifer says D. Hey, Candace, thanks for joining us. We're going over some TEAS 7 practice test questions. Okay, so yes, you guys are doing awesome. The correct answer is D, -10. Sabrina says, I seriously don't know this one. That's not true, Sabrina. That's not true. Candy says, I got that wrong. Shanna says, how? Stephanie says, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dope-ass swag. Can we do the problem? Yes, of course. So the first thing we want to do is let's plug in what the values are, okay? So we've got negative m, parentheses, m plus 5n. So that turns into if m equals 5 and n equals -3. So this becomes -5, parentheses, 5 plus -3, okay? So what do we need to do? If we've got PEMDAS, please excuse my dope ass swag. Okay, then we know that we need is -m5. Yes, so m equals 5 and the expression was -m, parentheses, n plus n. So I'm just plugging in the values here. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to solve what's in the parentheses first, okay? Aunt Sally left. We swapped it out to dope swag because we decided to make it more fun. So you've got -5, parentheses. So we've got 5 plus -3. Okay, this is how I'm choosing to solve it, Chelsea. Okay, so we've got 5 plus minus 3. That leaves us with 2. Okay, and so this becomes essentially a multiplication problem. So negative 5 times 2 equals negative 10. And that's how we get answer choice D. So I saw that some of you said that you got tricked because you didn't account for the negative in the front. So that's why I always like to just plug it in a way. It just makes it so much easier. Do not try to do math in your head. On the TEAS exam, you will be provided with a scratched piece of paper, so make sure that you use it. Okay? That's okay, Sandra. That's why we're practicing. That is why we're together, and that's why we're practicing. No shame. I would rather you learn with me, get it wrong here down on TikTok, so when you do your real TEAS exam, you're going to be like, not it. I already got this, okay? Yes, you get a 4-function calculator. It's provided to you. You cannot bring your own. Okay, guys, everyone's favorite. Second favorite, because we already know that math is everyone's favorite. Is that the formula for every equation? So formulas are not provided to you, just like conversions are not provided to you. You are expected to memorize them. So what kind of formulas are you expected to memorize for the math section? Area of a circle, area of a square, area of a rectangle, let's see, what else? The rates of change, the rate interest principle. Those are all formulas that you need to have memorized. Everyone said Nurse to be asked a good question. I missed it. What did Nurse to be ask? Does the Smart Edition course have a mobile app and you can download it, or is it just online? Yeah, you can have, so that is a good question. The T7 online course, it comes with the mobile app. The mobile app is included. You do not pay extra for it. You can download it from your cell phone, whether you're on iOS or Android, and you can access the entire online course, the videos and everything from the mobile app. What a lot of people tell us that they do in our TEAS study group is they say they connect the Bluetooth to their car, and when they're driving to work, when they're sitting in traffic, they are listening to the videos that we have in the online course. So they're studying while they're on the go. And I think that's real smart, just to fit it on in. Okay, Sabrina, we'll see you next time. Hey guys, what's the answer here? I just saw a few answers trickle in. Okay, I'm seeing some B's, I'm seeing some C's. C's, C's, D's, C, C, C. Okay, yes, the correct answer is C, reduces blood flow to the injured site. So really quickly, before we move on to our next question, which is going to be an ELU question, let's talk about what this is. What is this question asking us? Rudy Red, we put our replays up on YouTube. Smart Edition Nursing on YouTube. We put it up the next day. So when we're talking about a vesicular spasm, we're talking about this being a temporary constriction, right? So we're narrowing of the blood vessels that occurs after a blood vessel has been injured. Okay, and why does this happen? This happens as a response to the body's natural process to reduce blood loss. Okay, so if you have injury, it's going to constrict temporarily so that there is less blood flowing out. When blood vessels are damaged, you've got what's called smooth muscles in the vessel walls that are there to contract and basically decrease the diameter of the blood vessel, okay? And this is important because, again, it minimizes blood loss and it basically buys extra time for the other processes like things like clotting and whatnot to take place, okay? So C is correct because this is the primary function, okay? When a blood vessel is injured, the muscles in the blood vessel will constrict, reducing blood flow to the area. Okay, and so it's very important that when you are taking your TEAS exam that you are so clear on the function. Function. Be so clear about everything you're studying. What is its function? Why is it doing this? Why is it important that it's doing this? Be very clear on the function of everything that you are studying. The TEAS exam is way more than just memorizing where something is or what is something's part, okay? You really need to understand the why, the functions, the characteristics, the structure, and why and how things work together when it comes to A and P. All right, guys, we've got 10 more minutes together. I know I promised you that we're going to talk about everything you need to study for the biology question. So we're going to do one more practice test question on English, and then I'm going to show you the cheat sheet that goes over everything you need to know and study for the biology questions, which are going to be those 8 scored biology questions, okay, word for word. I'll share that with you after we do this question. And as a reminder, guys, if you need more practice, more studying, if you like these practice test questions, if you like our teaching style, we do have a TEAS 7 online course. It is available at Smart Edition Academy. It includes 8 practice tests, a mobile app, over 100 videos, flashcards, and interactive lessons. And you can get it for 20% off with code 20OFF. When you use that code, the course will be $24 or I think maybe $25. It is the most affordable solution for TEAS test prep. There's no better deal. Okay, guys, is that better? Great question, Polly. So our course is intended to be as similar to the real TEAS exam as possible. Our tests are timed. We use very similar ratios of what topics will be on the test. In addition, we also offer a 200% money back guarantee if you don't pass your TEAS exam. If you use our program and you take your TEAS and you do not pass for any reason, we give you your money back. We're that confident that the program will work. Okay, I'm seeing some A's, seeing some B's. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Yami. Thanks for the follow. KB says B. Hi, Sean. Hi, Irene. How long is our program? Megan, do you mean our live? Our lives are an hour, or do you mean the study course? That's exactly right. We give them their money back times 2. That's exactly right. And the online course, it's really at your own pace. So we have a 1-month program. And if you use the 20% off, it's like $24, $25. Or there's also a 3-month program that you can buy, which really, to me, that's the GOAT. Because the way that the pricing is for 3 months, it's basically like $60. So it's like you're getting 1 month free, and then you can get a 20% off on top of that. I see A's, I see B's, I see D's. We're prepping for the TEAS 7 exam. It is an entrance exam. It really depends on how fresh their prerequisites are, and it depends how somebody asked, is 1 month enough or do you need 3? So like I said, it's depending on how fresh their prerequisites are. And really the best thing for you to do is to take a practice test and see how close you are to achieving your minimum score. And I always want to encourage students to get 5, 6, 7 points above your minimum score. Don't just try to hit the bare minimum because you want to be competitive. So the answer is A, guys. I began swimming every day. So we talked about this a little bit earlier in our live where we talked about what a dependent clause is, but just as a refresher, an independent clause is a group of words that can basically stand alone as a complete sentence, okay? It has a subject. A subject, as a reminder, is like who or what we're talking about. And then it has what's called a predicate. A predicate is basically what the subject is doing. So if we have a subject and we have a predicate, then it doesn't need anything else for the sentence to make sense, okay? So when we talk about the sentence we have here, I began swimming every day because it is healthy to exercise. I began swimming every day is the independent clause. The subject is I, okay? And then we've got our verb, which is began. And this ultimately expresses a complete thought. It can stand by itself. So if we take a look at the other answer choices here, let me just put my little doodad here. If we say, because it is healthy to exercise, that is not a complete sentence, because you're like, because it's healthy to exercise, like what are we talking about? C, same thing. It is healthy to exercise. Like, what are we talking about? There's no subject. And then D, I began swimming. While you could say that it is a simple sentence, I began swimming, it still is lacking substance. Okay? So that is why A, I began swimming every day, is correct. You guys are doing so awesome down in the comments. Good job, Viva. Good job, Holly. Thank you guys for helping each other out. All right. So as I promised, because we do only have 4 minutes together, I wanted to take the time to show you guys exactly what you needed to study for the 8 scored biology questions. So let me get my cheat sheet ready for you guys. Okay, so what you need to study, and then for those of you who are not into online courses, we do also have a T7 online study guidebook, and you can find this on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and type in Smart Edition ATI TEAS, and you will find our study book. Okay, so what do we need to study and know? This is a 2-parter, okay? So bear with me. I couldn't put everything on one page, so we are going to have 2 parts. So what you need to study and what you need to know for those scored biology questions. I wrote that it was 9. It's actually 8. Okay? So as a reminder, guys, when you take your T7 exam, you're going to have 18 scored A&P questions, 9 scientific reasoning questions, 8 biology questions, and 8 scored chemistry questions. So this is part 1. I'm going to show you guys part 2 in a second. I'm giving everyone a chance to take a screenshot. Will I share the disease sheet again? Yes. I will share the disease sheet again before I get off the live today, and also the chemistry cheat sheet that we went over in the beginning of the live for anybody who missed it. If you're just joining us and you're catching the tail end of it, we will have the replay up on YouTube. So replay on YouTube. Just look for Smart Edition Nursing. We do have other T7 videos on there. We have hundreds of T7 videos, and we also have some of our other TikTok replays on there. So you can, if you feel like studying, just go on over to our YouTube channel and you can catch us there. In addition, we do offer a T7 online course, and you can get 20% off the course with code 20OFF. It's guaranteed to help you pass your exam, or you get 200% of your money back. So, has everyone had a chance to take a screenshot of this first sheet of what all you need to study for the biology section? And guys, I put in the keyword here. These keywords, hydrolysis, dehydration, synthesis, etc. These are keywords that you guys should know. You should know what hydrolysis is, why does it happen, dehydration, synthesis, what is it, why does it happen. You should have a flashcard for every single thing on this piece of paper. You will thank me later. Okay? Taffy says, thank you, very helpful. Okay? I want to see flashcards for every single one of these things. So we've got our macromolecules, microorganisms, cellular respiration, everything that you need to study for cellular respiration, okay? Cellular reproduction. I'm going to move it on up because I know that the comments can sometimes cover it up, and then we're going to go over the second page of what you need to study for biology. And then for those that asked for it, I'm going to put up the chemistry one more time, and then I'm going to put up the diseases to know for the A&P questions one more time. Okay? For those of you just joining us, again, you can catch us on YouTube, Smart Edition Nursing. And if you want to study for the TEAS the easy way instead of the hard, confusing way, you can get our TEAS 7 online course at smarteditionacademy.com. When you use code 20OFF, the TEAS 7 online course will be $25. Our 8 TEAS practice tests, a mobile app, 100 videos, literally everything you need to study and more. We are so confident that it's going to help you pass your TEAS exam. We offer a 200% money back guarantee. Okay, guys, so this is the part 2 of the biology cheat sheet. And yes, I will also send this out as a pretty PDF when I send out the link for the replay. Oh, somebody says it's $23.99 with the code. Okay, well, there you go. You saved an extra $1 than I originally said. $23.99 with code 20OFF. It is the best deal in TEAS 7 test prep. So user, we did go over, in each of our lives, we go over different cheat sheets. Today we were going over biology. Earlier we went over, the code is 20OFF. Earlier we went over chemistry, and then earlier we also went over the diseases you need to know. So I'm going to pull back up the diseases. Please, for the code one more time. The code is 20OFF at checkout at smarteditionacademy.com. Okay? All right, guys. For those 8 scored biology questions, you also need to know cell theory. You need to know the functions of different cells, different types. You need to know what they're made up of. You need to know their structure, their characteristics, okay, just like you need to know for A and P. Plant cells versus animal cells. Know all of their little parts and know what all their little parts do, okay? All right, and then I'm going to move it on up here, genetics and DNA. You absolutely want to study Punnett squares. I will bet you $1 that you will see a question, maybe 2, on Punnett squares. You really want to make sure that you understand Mendel's theory. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you're enjoying the course. Okay, so before I pull up the chemistry one, okay, I'm going to put up the chemistry one in 3, 2, 1. Take your final. Maya says, yes, I did get Punnett square questions. Telling you. Swiss, so you have the course for as long as you need it. So you can get the 1-month program for $23.99, or you can sign up for the 3-month program. If you do the 3-month program, you actually get an extra month free. It's like you pay for 2, but we give you 3. And then you can also use the 20% off discount. Okay? It's Kita. Ooh, It's Kita is giving me a side-eye emoji. She says, you keep skipping my question. Okay, babe, where is your question? I don't want that side eye over here. Let me look for your question or ask me again. Forgive me. And I'm going to put up the chemistry cheat sheet while I'm answering Itzkita's question before she comes for me. And we do have the book. This is what the book looks like. It is available on Amazon. You just need to look up Smart Edition TEAS. All right, guys, where's the chemistry one? What is PN? I'm lost, Quinta. What did you say? TEAS PN? What is PN? Guys, I'm not cool enough. What's PN? Oh, practical nursing. Duh. Yeah, so the TEAS exam can be for LPNs. It can be for, I've heard of vet techs, dental hygiene. All sorts of programs require the ATI TEAS exam. Okay, guys, and for those of you who missed it in the very beginning, we just went over what you need to study for the biology questions. This is your study sheet for what you need to study for chemistry. If any of these concepts, like if you're reading moles and molarity and molality, and you're thinking I wrote the same thing twice, I didn't, there's an R, and you're like, what is this? And you're lost on anything, again, we have a T7 online course. You can use code 20OFF. We explain to you in detail, very, very simply, what all of these things are. We have practice test questions on all of these different things. More importantly, we have videos that explain every single thing very simply, very, very simply, okay? No, you're not gonna fail. You just gotta take it one day at a time, okay? So take your screenshots, and then for those of you that wanted the A and P diseases one, I'm gonna show that again in just a few seconds. I'm giving people a chance to take their screenshots of this. The YouTube channel, just go to YouTube and put in Smart Edition, like T7, and that should take you to our YouTube channel. Our website is smarteditionacademy.com. We have the T7 online course there that you can use code 20OFF at checkout. Okay? All right. While you guys are looking at that, I'm going to look for where I put the notes on the A and P diseases you need to know, and then I'm going to sign off for the night. If you want to keep studying with me, make sure you give us a follow. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Most importantly, make sure that you check us out in the online course. We make the online course so easy. Yes, we have a math study guide. Our math section is quite honestly dope. We worked with Brandon Kraft. He helped us create the math section. We have videos for every single practice problem. We have videos for every single concept. This course is amazing for visual learners. It's extremely interactive. What I really love about it is that it is extremely easy to understand. We take stuff that's really hard and eliminate like all the jargon and all like the fluff and stuff that you just don't need to know. We make studying for the TEAS easy as 1, 2, 3, okay? I'm just checking here to see where I put that sheet. Okay, forgive me, y'all. Let's see, where did I put it? I put it on the back of one of these. Where is it? We went over math. We went over English. Oh, here it is. Okay, so these are the diseases. Okay, and again, this is our book. You can find it on Amazon. Just look up Smart Edition ATI TEAS 7, okay? These are, just for some context before we sign off, when you take the science section, there's 18 scored A and P questions. Of those A and P questions, some of those questions are going to ask you things about a patient comes into the hospital presenting with these symptoms, and they're going to list off a list of symptoms, or they're going to say a patient presents in the hospital after coming home from a trip and they believe they got bit by a mosquito. Which of these diseases might they have? So these are the most common diseases that you're going to need to know. So when it comes to the TEAS exam, you want to know, make a note for yourself, you want to know the symptoms of these. You want to know the transmission of these, how you get the disease, what causes the disease, okay? And you want to know what, and this is pneumonia, okay? I know I can't spell, y'all, right? That's pneumonia. You want to know what system or what body parts the disease affects, okay? When it comes to cancer, you will only see questions about skin cancer, okay? Don't worry about all the other cancers. They don't matter for the TEAS exam, okay? The TEAS exam is only going to ask you questions. They could ask you questions, I should say, about skin cancer, all right? So that wraps it up for tonight. We've gone over the common diseases. We've gone over what you need to study for chemistry. We've gone over what you need to study for biology. We've done some algebra together. We've done a lot of stuff together. So if you joined us live, remember, you can go to our T7, you can go to our website and access our T7 online course. It's $23.99. It's $23. Okay, it's almost the price of Chipotle these days, okay? $23.99 when you use code 20OFF at our website, smartadditionacademy.com. That will give you access to the 8 practice tests, the 100 videos that are fun and entertaining and not boring, okay? The interactive lessons that focus on exactly what you need to study in a very simple and easy to follow way. The mobile study app, how much is it total for 1 month? When you use the code, it's $23.99. $23.99. That's it. Yes. The study app, everything on here is included. And that also includes the pass, the 200% pass guaranteed. But we're so confident that if you use our course, you take your TEAS, and you don't pass for whatever reason, any reason at all, even if it's just by one little A point, one little baby point matters, we will give you 200% of your money back. Okay, guys, before I sign off, let's see. Angelique, can you answer her question, please? All right, I don't think you guys are talking to me. All right, Meow Mix says one last time for the bio. Okay. One last time. I will send it out also in the replay. Where did I put it? In case anyone cares, I do recycle. Okay, this paper does not go to waste. While I'm looking for that, you can find our book on Amazon, Smart Addition, TEAS. Here it is. Here, Meow Mix. Her question on average study time. Oh, so that's a great question. So are you talking about like when you study a topic, or you're talking about like for the whole duration of the test? While you're telling me in the comments, Meow Mix, there's 2 parts. So this is just part 1. I'll show you part 2 in another one. So when you use the online course, my favorite thing about it is when you decide to study a topic is that we make the lessons extremely easy to understand, and we organize them in a way that you should be able to study a topic within 45 minutes to an hour. The chemistry ones, I'm not going to lie to you, they're more like an hour just because there's more videos in those chemistry lessons. You know, as you saw with our cheat sheet, there's just, we need to know the formulas for chemical solutions and all this stuff. And all of our videos actually have practice test questions in them. So as you're listening to them, you can get extra practice. So the way that the courses are designed is that They start off with a video at the top, so you can watch the video, and then there is text at the bottom that takes, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we tell you we have practice test question banks. Every topic on the test has a dedicated question bank, so we tell you go to the online course, pick your topic, watch the video, read the text at the bottom, and then go to the practice test by topic bank and answer at least 5 questions. If you do that formula, that's going to take you about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. If you can do that once or twice a day, you will be in great shape for your upcoming TEAS exam. And if you want a secret tip, what I found a lot of people who get 80%, 90% and above is they will tell me that they will study a topic like at night or whatever works for them. Meow Mix, let me find the other one for you. This is the other one. And what they'll do is they will actually study like at night or morning, whatever works for them. And then they will actually wake up the next day or that night, they'll come back to it and they will answer 2 or 3 or maybe 4 practice test questions on those topics. And they'll say that that helps them a lot because it's kind of like their whole day went by, work, family, whatever. And then it allowed them to kind of like reconnect and recall, using memory recall, what they learned earlier in the day or the night before. Because remember, all of our practice test questions also have videos, okay? So they watch those videos and they just kind of refresh their memory. All right? So thanks you guys for joining me. I look forward to our next one. Remember, you can use code 20% off. 20 off. How long to get through the course? It depends, Auntie. So some people go through it in a month. Some people decide they don't have as much time, or they just want a little bit more time, so they take the 3 months. It really just depends how you're doing on practice test questions. The course is structured in a way that's extremely easy to understand. Oh, Auntie says you have until Monday. Well, I mean, anything is possible, Auntie. Natalie, I don't have one printed. I think this book has a cheat sheet of what you need to study, but basically you just need to study your 12 main systems. Let's see, I'm going to answer Natalie's questions, and then I'm for real. Let's see here. Here, Natalie, so what you need to start with, you need to go over the organization of the human body. So that's things like your directional terms, how the body is organized, all that good stuff. You need to study the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the gastrointestinal system, the reproductive system, and the urinary system. You need to also study the skeletal system, the muscular system, okay? Then you've got the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the lymphatic system. All right? And when you're studying all of this A and P, I want you to focus on the function, homeostasis, so like how does this body part, how does this system regulate homeostasis, so functions, homeostasis. Anytime you're presented with a type of muscle or a type of bone, anything like that, you want to be clear on the characteristics and the structure of them, okay? So those are some of the main points. If you go over to our YouTube channel, we have a very detailed video about the A&P section. Of course, you can learn everything that you need to know for A&P, chemistry, bio, math, scientific reasoning, English, reading, all that stuff from our book that is available online, Smart Edition Nursing. I just purchased. How do I access it? Daisy, if you're having an issue accessing it, you can go onto our website, smarteditionacademy.com, and hit the chat button and we can help you, okay? You will get an email and it's going to tell you to register for an account, which takes like 4 seconds. You basically just will need to create a username and a password, and then you'll just go to our website and you'll click the login button, okay? So we will help you if you have a hard time with that, Daisy, okay? So thanks, you guys. I'm going to eat some dinner. I'm going to drink some water. I hope to see you guys in the online course. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys.